I am in Chokoloskee Island, Florida, near Everglades National Park, way down in the southwest of the state. And I am at a true relic of Floridan history. This is the Smallwood store. It was built in 1910 by Ted Smallwood. So this is like a legit pioneer trading post, and I guess it's almost perfectly preserved how it was. So we're gonna go check this out. So as you can see, the structure is built up on wooden stilts, like a lot of buildings were in Florida. Even the Seminoles did this. Now this is gonna be a bit different than some pioneer trading post in like Wyoming or something, especially because it has Coke products. This is a historical marker. Actually, I lied, it was built in 1906, which makes this, what, 112 years old? As you can see, this place is a time capsule. Almost everything in here is how it was when it closed in 1982. This is a hoop skirt counter. You can see the slant there, and that is because a woman could wear her hoop skirt up there without it getting pushed to expose her legs. Ted Smallwood would blow on this conch shell when coming back on the boat to signal to the other settlers that he had returned. The store was also the post office of the island. The island is basically the western edge of the Everglades ecosystem, and the area wasn't really settled at all in 1906 and hardly is even now. Back then, this was complete wilderness. Here's some old magazines from the 1960s, really interesting ones on display like the Kennedys and the Beatles. This is an ad for the electric belt, and yes, before Viagra, self-electrocuting the genitals, I guess, did the same thing. These Seminole artifacts are here for a reason. They were still in the area in the early 20th century and would have come here to trade at the store. It is built on a Calusa shell mound, and they built their mounds using discarded shells and other waste. It was more like a dumpster. This was the Indian Bank, where the money and other trade pieces were stored for the Seminole. There was a small settlement here on the island, and Ted Smallwood decided to move here and build and open up this store. Due to its isolated location, this was not an average dry goods store. This was more of a pioneer trading post. Ted Smallwood would trade survival and hunting tools for meat and other food to survive. Besides being a store, it was the social hub of the island, and there would have been some rugged men who lived on these secluded islands. Really, it was guys who didn't want to be found who were out here. That was the shoe lathe, which was the only place to repair shoes in the region. The place is jam-packed with so many awesome antiques. You could really spend hours in here just looking at everything. a wax figure of the proprietor, Ted Smallwood. I believe the family would have lived in this building, and this is their dining sets. There was a serial killer named Edgar Watson, or better known as Ed Watson, who was killed outside this store. He was lurking in the area in the 1880s after he got in trouble with a county in northern Florida where he grew up. He then went to Oklahoma Territory where he allegedly killed Belle Starr, known as the Bandit Queen of the Wild West. One story is that he supposedly asked her to dance, and when she declined, he followed her and shot her dead. Another is that he was one of her sharecroppers, and Watson was afraid she would turn him in as a wanted escaped murderer from Florida, so he killed her. After supposedly killing a Wild West legend, he then returned to Florida, killed someone else, tried to slit someone's throat in Key West, bought a sugarcane plantation, and killed some squatters there. Then several people began living at the plantation. They started killing each other. Then in 1910 a hurricane struck, and Watson came down to the Smallwood store, said he was going to kill someone living at the plantation, returned back a few days later, and was killed by a mob right outside the store. The original kerosene tank just inside a side room. And this was the family's bedroom. And bathroom. Here's the most disturbing thing in the store. And this is the view from the balcony of the Smallwood store. The 10,000 Islands area near Everglades National Park. I'm not sure what this is supposed to be. Alright, that was the Smallwood store. Very cool relic of Florida history. This place is perfectly preserved. Really enjoyed it. If you like this video, you like roadside attractions and museums, then please go check out my other videos and subscribe. Thanks for watching.